All right, so week 18 of the 2024 NFL regular season has wrapped up. Actually, the final week of the 2024 NFL regular season has wrapped up. Another season has come and gone, and just give you just some heads up on some scores that happened in the final week of the regular season. So the Baltimore Ravens handled their business, beating the Cleveland Browns 35-10. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 19-17. The Carolina Panthers beat the Atlanta Falcons in overtime 44-38. The Houston Texans beat the Tennessee Titans 23-14. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the New York Giants 20-13. In overtime, the Indianapolis Colts beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 26-23. The Washington Commanders beat the Dallas Cowboys 23-19. The Chicago Bears beat the Green Bay Packers 24-22. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the New Orleans Saints 27-19. The New England Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills 23-16. The Los Angeles Chargers beat the Las Vegas Raiders 34-20. The Arizona Cardinals took care of the San Francisco 49ers 47-24. The Denver Broncos beat the Kansas City Chiefs 38-0. The Seattle Seahawks took care of the Los Angeles Rams 30-25. The New York Jets beat the Miami Dolphins 30-20. So there was a milestone in this game. First off, Aaron Rodgers, future first ballot Hall of Famer. The Jet quarterback became the fifth quarterback in NFL history to throw 500 career touchdown passes. And currently, he has thrown 503 touchdown passes in his career. So, what does his future hold? Not just in New York, but most of all in the NFL. Me personally, I think he returns to the New York Jets for the 2025 season. I could see a possible Rex Ryan return to New York. You got to remember, when Ryan was in New York the first time around, the first 2 years as the head coach of the New York Jets, they were in back-to-back AFC championship games. So I still think Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. The early part of the year, he struggled, but the last month and a half, almost 2 months, the confidence was coming back slowly but surely. Again, coming off of an Achilles injury at 41 years of age. He's not as fast as he once was, but the mobility was coming back. The movement was coming back. So, again, there's a lot about, at stake in terms of his future. But, again, as I stated earlier, it's highly likely I see him coming back for a 2025 NFL season. I think he will be the quarterback for the New York Jets next year, and I do see a possible return to New York for Rex Ryan as the head coach of the New York Jets. We'll get into head coach firings and things of that nature in just a moment, but in the meantime, Aaron Rodgers, he hit a milestone in the Jets' victory over the Miami Dolphins, where he became the fifth quarterback in NFL history to throw 500 career touchdown passes. And of course, Sunday Night Football was the Detroit Lions taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Detroit beating Minnesota easily 31-9. So Detroit gets the number one seed in the playoffs. They win the NFC North and they get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. As for Minnesota, they drop down to the fifth seed and will play in the wild card game, which we're going to get into in just a little bit with the Super Wild Card weekend schedule. But, at the end of the regular season, the NFL doesn't just stand for the National Football League. It stands for not for long. And not for long will you be on a team, and not for long will you have a job. And certainly there were some head coaches that have already been given the pink slip. So after only one season as the head coach of the New England Patriots, the team has fired head coach Gerard Mayo. The Patriots finished the regular season with a record of only 4 wins and 13 losses. The Patriots will have the 4th overall pick in this year's NFL draft. So, in a nutshell, there's been a couple of candidates. Brian Flores is expected to be a candidate for the Patriots head coaching job. I think Mike Vrabel is going to get the job. Vrabel has experience. You know, he won a couple of Super Bowls with the New England Patriots, has a great relationship with the owner of the team, Robert Kraft. I see Vrabel making a return to Foxborough and possibly becoming the Patriots' next head coach. But I could be wrong, though. But anyway, after one season as the head coach of the Patriots, head coach Gerard Mayo was fired. Also, the Jacksonville Jaguars fired head coach Doug Peterson. In his 3 seasons with Jacksonville, Peterson's overall coaching record was 22 wins and 29 losses, with 1 AFC South Division title win, 1 playoff appearance, and a playoff win. The Jaguars will have the 5th overall pick in this year's NFL draft. So the Patriots and the Jaguars going through growing pains right now, and we shall see what happens with all of this. Do the Patriots go, most likely, do they go get Travis Hunter if he's still available, or do they maybe try to go get Ashton Genty? The Patriots, I don't know if they're going to gamble and draft a quarterback. They're going to ride the wave with Drake May for a little bit, but in the NFL, you just never know. The Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence got a contract extension. They may hang with Trevor for a little while longer, but will they try to go get Travis Hunter if he's still available, or maybe Ashton Genty? Do they go draft Cam Ward? Do they maybe try to make a play for Shedeur Sanders? Well, we'll see how that all plays out. But right now, New England and Jacksonville are definitely going through their rough patches and their growing pains. The Cincinnati Bengals, they fired their defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo, after 6 seasons being at the position. So the Bengals, they had a rough time this year on the defensive side, and we'll see how it all plays out. I know Cincinnati had a chance to make the playoffs, but they were able to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in a close game, but again, they couldn't control the outcome of the Denver Broncos. The Broncos just went roughshod, shutting out the Kansas City Chiefs. Final score was 38-0. Also, some reports coming out of Dallas is that the Chicago Bears have asked for permission to interview Mike McCarthy for their head coaching position. You know, Matt Eberflus was fired in around the middle part of the season. Thomas Brown, the offensive coordinator, became the interim head coach, and they have a young talent with Caleb Williams. They also got some nice pieces offensively with Rome Odunze, also DeAndre Swift, and DJ Moore and Cole Kmet. Jerry Jones, Jerry said, hey, you want to talk to him? Go talk to him. He kind of seemed very nonchalant with his answer towards the media. But again, the Chicago Bears have asked for permission to interview Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy for their head coaching position. All right, so as always, one of the best times of the year is the playoffs, the second season, and we have your Super Wildcard Weekend schedule. So here we go. On January the 11th, we have the AFC Wildcard game with the Los Angeles Chargers going up against the Houston Texans. 4:35 p.m. Eastern, 3:35 p.m. Central on CBS, Paramount Plus, and Nickelodeon. And on that same day, the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Baltimore Ravens in the other AFC wildcard game. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central, exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. On January the 12th, 2025, we have the AFC wildcard game with the Denver Broncos going up against the Buffalo Bills. Kickoff is at 1:05 p.m. Eastern, 12:05 p.m. Central on CBS and Paramount Plus. Then we have the NFC wildcard game with the Green Bay Packers going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Kickoff is at 4:40 p.m. Eastern, 3:40 p.m. Central on Fox. And then we have the other NFC wildcard game with the Washington Commanders going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central on NBC and Peacock. And then on January the 13th, the NFC wildcard game will be the Minnesota Vikings going up against the Los Angeles Rams. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central on ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN Plus. So again, the schedule will be January the 11th, AFC wildcard game, Chargers Texans, on CBS, Paramount Plus, and Nickelodeon, 4:35 p.m. Eastern, 3:35 p.m. Central. Then there'll be Steelers Ravens, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central, exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. On January the 12th will be the other AFC wildcard game, Broncos and the Bills, 1:05 p.m. Eastern, 12:05 p.m. Central on CBS and Paramount Plus. And then the NFC wildcard game will be Packers and the Eagles, 4:40 p.m. Eastern, 3:40 p.m. Central on Fox. And then the other NFC wildcard game will be the Commanders versus the Buccaneers, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central on NBC and Peacock. And then on January the 13th will be the NFC wildcard game with the Vikings and the Rams, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central on ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN Plus. So we've got some interesting matchups. All of these games are going to be interesting, but I'm really looking forward to two games in particular. I'm looking forward to really three. I'm looking forward to all of the games, but I think these three are really catching my eye. Packers, Eagles, Vikings, Rams, and especially Commanders and Buccaneers. What an amazing rookie campaign it's been for Jaden Daniels, and what a first year it's been for head coach Dan Quinn, and just the whole Commanders team with Terry McLaurin and Brian Robinson Jr., and with Zach Ertz finding the fountain of youth in his first year as the tight end for the Commanders. And also, how about Frankie Louvu on the defensive side and Bobby Wagner finding the fountain of youth? And how about for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Boy, Baker Mayfield has had an amazing year this year. And certainly Bucky Irving playing at a high level at the running back position. This should be a fun game. I think this could be the show stealer of the Super Wildcard weekend with the Washington Commanders going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Vikings and Rams is going to be a really good game. I'm really looking forward to the Packers and Eagles. I'm really anxious to see what Saquon Barkley's going to do. I mean, he had a week to rest and get ready. Also, Jalen Hurts had been in concussion protocol for almost 2 weeks now. We'll see how he's going to play, and not just with him, but also with Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, a lot of those guys, and that offensive line as well for the Eagles. But that should be a fun one in Philly. And what about Jordan Love? I know he sustained a minor injury in the loss to the Chicago Bears last week. How will he hold up? And, that was a tough break with the Packers losing Christian Watson for the remainder of the year, tearing his ACL in a non-contact injury against the Bears. But we'll see how it all plays out. But it's always fun when the Packers and the Eagles play. That should be a good one as well. And then Vikings and Rams, that's going to be an offensive showdown with Sam Darnold going up against Matthew Stafford. But that's your Super Wildcard weekend schedule. We got Chargers versus Texans. Then we got Steelers versus Ravens. Then we have Broncos versus Bills, followed by Packers versus Eagles. Then there's Commanders versus Buccaneers. And then we have Vikings versus Rams. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.